Coach, if you could give an opening statement.
Yeah, obviously I thought we battled a little bit more in the second half defensively today. We just, for whatever reason, we really struggled. But I thought, give credit to Milligan, man. I thought they played aggressive. I thought they played confident. I thought they played loose. They did that last night in the first half versus Appalachian State. Obviously I'm very biased towards that school, but I'll tell you, they're very well coached. Bill does a tremendous job, and they came out and they really took it to us in the first half. And, Tay and Devon really kind of brought us through there in the second half, and was really proud of Tay. But, they outplayed us today for a majority of the day. And, when you're over break, you've really got to lock into the plan, and we didn't do that enough today. But I thought Milligan just played really, really well. I thought they attacked all day long, and Laverty's is, he played in our league. He's a really, really good player, and it's a credit to them. But obviously glad that we could pull it out on the other end.
How nice is it to finally get back in the winning column?
I was just saying on the radio, I think it was Bill Self that I was listening to when he was at Oral Roberts, and I don't know what his record started off, but he's basically saying that just you got to enjoy the win. I think it was him. It was somebody like that, and so we'll enjoy it, especially going into the break. The feeling of winning sure beats the hell out of the feeling of losing, but we've got to understand that there's a certain process that comes with winning, and Joey Harrell, one of the alums, came and spoke to our guys the other day, and I thought he made a great point. He said, you got to build your armor going into the game. And for the most part, I thought we've done that. I thought we've practiced really well. And so it's good to have yourself rewarded from that because, we could have very easily been in the winning column last game, but we didn't do what it took in the last 3 minutes. But to answer your question, it feels really good to come out on the other end, especially going into break. But I think we'll be thankful for this game actually later in the year that we were in a dogfight again, 2 games in a row, having freshmen that have to make free throws down the stretch and take care of the ball. But, it feels good.
As you're progressing in the season, Devon has kind of led the way for most games.
Yeah.
But tonight, Tay steps up with a huge game, and then down in Stetson, Kobe had a big game. So getting all these other guys stepping up in the points column, how important is that?
Well, I was really proud of Tay because off the floor, with the amount of work that he puts in with Coach Moynihan, just shooting, I was really glad to see it pay off for him because he's so capable as not only a shooter but as a player. And for him to get 22 shots off, he's probably not done that since he was at Oak Ridge. Well, I know he hadn't done it since he was at Oak Ridge. And so we're always, really encouraging him to err on the side of being aggressive. But as a freshman, that's a fine line because you want him to be aggressive but not, turn the ball over or whatever. But was really proud of him, and I thought some of those guys like Jalen Seegers got back to their identity a little bit, and they've done that the last couple of days in practice. But for Tay, was just really excited for him just to see his work pay off some.
I watched your bench a little bit, and the guys are fully invested. They're clapping. They're still up.
Yeah.
They've got the energy despite just ending a 10-game losing streak. How have you been able to get them to keep that positive mentality?
Focus on the things that you can control, and it's like we can't necessarily always control whether Milligan makes a tough shot or like at the end of the game at Stetson, we had some really good defensive possessions, and they just good players make good shots. You can't always control that. You can control your enthusiasm, and you can control your effort. You can control pouring yourself into your teammates, and I still think that we can be better there, and you can control how you are academically and things of that nature. And I really believe there's a direct correlation over time between those things and winning. Now as freshmen, it's everybody wants instant gratification, and that's not necessarily always the case. But for those guys as young as we are as a team, I guess we're still the youngest in America. We've really got to try to master the things that we can control, knowing that we're not going to be perfect.
Playing your alma mater,
yeah.
As the head coach, I know you coached against them as an assistant.
Mm-hmm.
How special was that?
I'm not sitting here if it wasn't for Milligan College. Milligan College really saved me. you know, and it was guys like Mark Fox and Tony Wallingford. You know, I went to Milligan as a kid who didn't know his butt from a hole in the ground, and left there, not a man, but left there knowing how to really deal with some of the things that life throws at you. And you know, my probably 4 greatest years of my life were on campus there. So it's really special for me. That's why we took our team back there. Not why, but one of the reasons. You know, when I talk about Milligan, when I talk about Elizabeth and where I'm from, I go from about 6'1" to about 6'4", and from about 200 to about 215, because I'm really proud of where I'm from. I didn't realize how special of a place it was until I was about 2 or 3 years in. And you know, I didn't go to a big state university or anything, and I'm really, really proud that I went to a place like that and played for a guy like Coach Wallingford and was mentored by people like Mark Fox. And I could go on and on and on and on, but it was tremendously special for me, not so much in the moment, but now that I look back on it, and we'll continue to play those guys, because that's a place that I will, no matter, I'll never be able to give back enough to that school for what it gave to me.
Coach, you got up 10 and then they went on a run. What was it you were talking to the team? Ultimately, able to turn that run off and kind of play even for the most part of the second half and pull away. When they went on that run, you pull them over to the sideline. What did the main go to as far as possible?
Yeah, we got up 23-13, and I think they went on a 15-0 run. And yeah, and you know, for us, you know, you can't blame it on youth, but for us, we've really got to understand that, like, the other team wants to win too, and like they're going to fight back, and they're not just going to lay down. And you know, I think at that moment in the game, we didn't respect our opponent enough. And you know, for us, you know, it's kind of when it was 23-13, and I think I had an opportunity to talk to them right there. You know, we got to keep our foot on the gas. We got to continue to attack. And you know, we really made a big emphasis on paint touches this week, and we kind of got away from it over that stretch. We took some tough shots, especially Devon took a couple that, again, you want them to err on the side of aggression, but you also want them to know what's a good shot and what's a bad shot. And Milligan did a great job at coming down and making us pay every time we did that. And they got some big offensive rebounds. And so that's something that we'll learn from, hopefully, over the course of the year. Definitely learn from on film. But I thought that segment that you talked about was really the segment of the game up until the last 4 minutes. And so for us, the game really could have went either way at that point. You know, we could be sitting here talking about a completely different game if we would have approached that segment a little bit differently, but we didn't, and hopefully we learned from it.
All right, Coach, also one thing you talked about earlier, you alluded to Chris talking about the winning going into the break, but one of the things I know that you're proud of as well is Billy, what they've done, interacting with the fans, also what they've done in the classroom. You know, how proud of you what your youth has been able to accomplish going into this break?
We got our team GPA yesterday, and it's the proudest I've been as a head coach so far. Again, I really believe there's a direct correlation to how you act as a person, how you treat people, and how you go about your business every single day. And we had some guys who needed to make a lot of progress, and they did that. And and it's not just about the actual result or the number. It's watching them over 3 months really pour themselves into trying to get better at the things we ask them to do. And, you know, the Shop with the Dogs event was something that they probably had absolutely no idea how much they would get out of it up until the hour or so that they were actually in it. And so with 8 freshmen and guys who are just playing their first real, you know, year of college basketball, I think we've got to take every opportunity that we can to teach them. So we stopped and we practiced yesterday for about an hour and 15 minutes, and then we met for about 30. And it was really, maybe I praised them too much, I don't know, but it was, like yesterday was as proud as I've been as a head coach, and just because it's really special for them to see the fruits of their labor come to fruition outside of just the game of basketball, because so many of these guys do they just identify themselves with basketball. So really proud of them.
And finally, obviously, you know, something we've talked about all year, but Friday before Christmas, having a great crowd out there, people coming out to support your team. How thankful are you that so many people are buying into this team as they are growing as a team themselves?
You know, the opposite of appreciation, Shaka Smart always says, is entitlement. And I know this, we're not entitled to anything. And so the amount of appreciation we have for the people who came out at 2 o'clock on a Friday on December the 21st was something that we can't, you know, we can go upstairs and we can thank them all they want, but that's not enough. And so we'll try to demonstrate it with our words and how we act. And really, really thankful. Saw a lot of people in the stands. That was pretty cool today. Eddie Pless. Will Little, who was a good friend of mine in college, was sitting on the Milligan bench, actually, who's a major league umpire now. I got to spend some time with him before the game. I hadn't seen him in years. So it was a cool day for me, but really, really thankful for not only for the people wearing blue today, but for the people wearing orange and black too.